This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I'm coming out of my head. I wanna know that you want me. Can you kiss me? They say we came from stardust, a mix of chaos and bliss. I wanna feel like I'm something. Can you hear me breathing? And if everything means nothing, and only you and me are something, but we could be a miracle. Yeah, we could be a miracle. But we could be a miracle.
Following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Tuesday, August the 19th of 2025, day 231st of the year, and only 134 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, so how have you been? How's the last 24 been? Have you done anything cool, anything exciting, anything you want to talk about? Because there's always all kinds of stuff to talk about, no doubt about that. So if you want to interact with our show, simple process on doing so, all you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That'll get everything moving and grooving for you. Simple process and moving forward and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do, no doubt about that. So once you get there, video, audio, text messaging are the options. Just so you know, text messaging is the quickest one. Kind of gets the point across right away as we are talking. So kind of simple enough. Safety in the news, news and safety. Just that simple. That's how everything goes. Anyways, with that being said, you are aware today is Tuesday because we've already talked about that. But let's do some other stuff as we are moving forward and taking a gander here, a gander there. Why don't we start talking about right away what the hell was trending in the other night? Because I think that that's going to be importante.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the ends, it goes something like this. Notable and noteworthy. Frankenstein bunnies. We'll talk about that. Meet zombie squirrels. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Also, Taylor Swift shows off her assets on a new album cover. More about that in show business. Also, Snow White star backtracks and MSNBC gets a rebrand and details about that in casting calls. So we'll definitely talk about some of that stuff. And more controversies about the Norwegian royal family. We'll talk about details about that inside of the royals. I mean, where else would we talk about that stuff? So there you go. A lot of things going on inside of the world of the multiverse, just information-wise for us to have that discussion and all that kind of glamorous stuff. I mean, what else do you want besides glamour? I don't know. So we're going to talk about safety. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to talk about safety in the news. So don't worry. We're going to go through the whole thing, the whole gamut of stuff. So with that being said, why don't we do this? Why don't we bring in my friends from Feature Story News? They can tell you exactly what's going on. They're going to give you some details. They're going to give you some spotlight, all the fun stuff that news cycles will do. But, they do it in a format that will give you some information, and you know a little bit about everything when it's all said and done. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring in our friends from Feature Story News right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News, I'm Rebecca Bunden in Mumbai. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky and other European leaders discussed security guarantees for Ukraine at Monday's White House summit with Donald Trump. The US president also phoned the Kremlin to try and arrange a direct face-to-face meeting between Vladimir Putin and Zelensky. But despite the leaders calling Monday's summit a success, it's unclear how much progress was made, as Nick Harper reports from Washington.
The White House summit on Ukraine seems to have been strong on talking, light on decision-making. Plenty was discussed, including the possibility of security guarantees for Ukraine in the future. The US president says he's on board, but Europe will have to bear the majority of the burden. Then there's a possible meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky. Donald Trump spoke to the Russian leader for 40 minutes, trying to push the idea of this two-way meeting, followed by a trilateral that Donald Trump would join. The Kremlin is not emphatic about the possibility of this meeting taking place anytime soon. But the sensitive issues of how to divide up territory, what Russia gets to keep, what it gives back, was discussed in granular detail, but the decision-making, it seems, is being saved for another day. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
Hurricane Erin is threatening to bring massive waves to the eastern coast of the United States this week. Tens of thousands of people in the US territory of Puerto Rico suffered power outages due to heavy wind and rain caused by the major hurricane. Mitch McCann reports.
Hurricane Erin intensified to a Category 4 storm on Monday, with winds reaching up to 215 kilometres per hour or 133 miles per hour. The storm is expected to create dangerous surf currents along the US East Coast this week. The hurricane is expected to bring heavy rainfall to the Turks and Caicos Islands, southeast of the Bahamas, and public services on the islands have now been suspended. Erin is not expected to reach the US mainland and is forecasted to move east of the US East Coast as it intensifies throughout the week. Mitch McCann, New York.
China's foreign minister and India's national security advisor are holding the 24th round of border talks in New Delhi amid softening ties between the Asian neighbours. Both India and China are dealing with the economic fallout of President Donald Trump's tariffs. And experts believe that trade tensions with the US are now pushing Asia's two competing largest economies closer to each other. Ishan Garg with more from New Delhi.
We've recently seen an article published in Financial Times by President Trump's main trade negotiator, Peter Navarro, who says that India needs to act as a strategic ally if it wants to get the benefits of one. And it's this kind of posturing that seems to have irked New Delhi. And now there are also conversations here that India might be looking to revive the Russia, India, China troika.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, as Ukraine's future was being debated in Washington by President Trump, President Zelensky and 7 European leaders, what was going on back in the war zone? President Zelensky refuses to countenance the idea of ceding the entire eastern region of Donbass to Russia, not least because that move would put Russian soldiers in front of Ukraine's existing defensive lines. Andrew Fox is a former British Army officer and military analyst who has been visiting serving troops in the Ukrainian military.
The Ukrainians are holding the line. It's not perfect. They are losing some ground in some areas. But since this war started, this phase of the war started, Russia have only taken a tiny percentage of extra terrain in Ukraine. And in terms of fighting spirit and will to go on, I've been incredibly impressed by the Ukrainian soldiers this week. Just today, I was with one of their forward battalion headquarters right down by the front lines. And they are absolutely resolute in their desire to fight on. And they're holding the line and believe they can continue to do so. So we're in a very bloody and nasty stalemate at the moment, but there's no signs of anything happening on the world stage at the moment that's going to break that stalemate.
Other reports suggest morale is sagging within Ukraine's armed forces and commanders are pressuring President Zelensky to find a way of resolving the war. But there is broad support throughout Ukraine for refusing to cede territory to Russia, and the country's president said on Monday he will need help building, equipping and training the country's military for years to come. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky and other European leaders discussed security guarantees for Ukraine at Monday's White House summit with Donald Trump. Hurricane Erin is threatening to bring massive waves to the eastern coast of the United States this week. China's foreign minister and India's national security advisor are holding the 24th round of border talks in New Delhi amid softening ties between the Asian neighbours. And that is the latest feature story news. Rebecca Bunton reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing the dinner's on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add-on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free. That's HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free to use the code SafetyFM free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free with code SafetyFM free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Hey there,
Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, there you go. 17 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's start talking right away about some things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that always seems to be a thing to have a discussion about. No doubt about that. So take a listen to this, Summit Part 2. The European leaders, accompanied by the Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky, to the White House on Monday, including Keir Starmer. Do we need to list all the people? Okay. So we'll just say European representatives. Early reports suggested the leaders agreed to contribute to peacekeeping forces to deter the future attacks from Russia without formally admitting Ukraine to NATO. President Trump held a 40-minute phone call with Vladimir Putin amid the talks. The Truth Social post published shortly after at 5 p.m. Trump said that he is coordinating the meeting between Putin and Zelensky at a location to be determined, followed by another meeting that would also include Trump. So there you go. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the next little bit. Let's not lie here, because it's going to be intriguing, because the world is always watching in regards of what the hell's going on. So if you're ready for this, I'm sure that the world will be ready for it as well. Okay, take a listen to this. Tech Bubble 2. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says that money going into artificial intelligence research and development is creating another tech bubble. When the bubble happens, smart people get overexcited about the kernel of truth. Altman said that while investors are overexcited about AI, the technology is still the most important thing to happen in a very long time. This is according to The Verge. Also, TechCrunch estimates that 24 AI startups have secured $100 million or more in funding through June of this year. on pace to match the 49 companies that have received similar funding last year. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly happens going forward. In some other news, drug maker behind Ozempic and the weight loss specifics twin Wegovy is offering a steep discount for customers buying directly online through the network. More than 70,000 PayPal. The direct purchase program will sell a three-dose monthly package for $4.99, a sharp drop from $1,350 list price, though patients using the drug under insurance typically pay much less, if anything, depending on their plan. An executive for Novo Nordisk said that the drug manufacturer says that we believe that there have been every single patient feels the need to turn to potentially unsafe and unapproved knockoff alternative. That is one too many. This is according to CNBC. So what do you think about all this stuff? Are you an Ozempic kind of person? Are you doing the Wegovy or any of that other stuff that you can do for weight loss? Listen, I don't know if it's a bad idea. I don't know if it's a good idea. The common complaint that I hear is, or the common complaints that I hear are the following. Number one, if you're on the stuff and going to the gym at the same time, you don't gain muscle. Don't know how true that is. And that the other side is that once you get off of it, you're done because all the weight comes back. Don't know how true that is either. Just telling you what exactly I've heard. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. But I think you already know that. Seriously.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so a lot of fun stuff always going on. The Cambridge Directory, let me rephrase that. The Cambridge Dictionary has added 6,212 new entries in the last year as the internet slang pollutes the mainstream communication and discourse. Leading the pack are meaningless young person prattle, skibby, which holds a non-specific or inherited meaning. By Cambridge's own literal definition, it means a word that can have different meanings, such as cool or bad, or can be used for no real meaning as a joke. So, inspo is short for inspiration, but specifically for social media posts. Luke took a take on look used to unusual, impressive outfit. Delulu, short for delusional. Work life and work spouse, the terms that have been around for years, finally got official treatment. So work wife and work spouse. Slop, an updated definition on low quality internet content. So there you go. So slop. A lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, at least so it seems. So there you go. Always some fun times as we are talking through some of the stuff going on inside of the multiverse. That is for sure. What else do we have here? Okay, I see your Frankenstein bunnies, and I raise you some zombie squirrels. Yep. Wart-covered squirrels are lurking in backyards across the East Coast and parts of Canada. While they were first spotted in 2023, locals say there appeared to be a surge in them this summer. Wildlife experts believe that the rodents are likely suffering from squirrel phimatosis, a viral skin disease caused by some other crap, according to the Daily Mail. Thankfully, just like the infected bunnies, the virus is unlikely to be transmittable to humans. But I don't know if I would really want to take a pause for the cause there in regards to taking a look at it. So take a look at this pic. There you go. Yeah, that's what it looks like. The zombie squirrels. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Just saying. Okay, so let's get into some other stuff. Let's get a little bit swampy-ompy, if I may do so myself. So let's get into the swamp a little bit. Because we need to do that. President Trump is spearheading the legislative effort to ban mail-in ballots in voting machines. Trump said that on Monday that while the White House lawyers are crafting an executive order to begin the process, but anything meaningful will require an act from Congress. In True Social Post, Trump wrote, I and the Republican Party will fight like hell to bring honesty and integrity back to our elections. Meanwhile, a member of Hamtramck City Council of Michigan, Michigan has been busted for ballot stuffing ahead of the municipal election earlier this month after the camera caught him handing stacks of ballots from the passenger seats of a car for the driver to jump into a ballot box. Michigan law requires absentee ballots to be delivered by the voter, their close relative, or a member of the same household. The suspect, Abu Musa, won 11-way election, but only 286 of those votes were cast on the election day. Most 843 ballots were cast as absentees. He now faces a state investigation. Musa is the third member of the city council to face election fraud charges in the last year. But sure, there is no evidence of voter fraud in America. I mean, I'm just saying. Don't get mad at me. I'm just repeating what I get to talk about here. No doubt about it.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Really? We had to go pitfall of our society? That's really as far as we're getting here? Okay, so there you go. Okay, take a listen to this. The numbers. The Dow lost about 33 points to close at 44,912 on Monday, and the S&P was flat on the day, closing just around 6,449, and the NASDAQ ticked up 6 points to close at 21,629, and West Texas Intermediate closed at $63 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $66 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.13 on Monday, and Bitcoin slid on the day, trading just around $116.4 thousand for the day. Also, tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $216 million jackpot or a $97 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. Okay, let's talk about some showbiz news because people are going to care about this shit. So let's talk about it. Sabrina Carpenter, Alex Warren, Busta Rhymes, and Ricky Martin are some of the musicians who are set to perform at the MTV Music Video Awards. The latter two will also receive special awards, MTV VMA Rock the Bells Visionary Award and Inaugural Latin Icon Award, respectively. LL Cool J will host the award show. It is set for September the 7th, so be on the lookout there. Also on Monday, Taylor Swift, revealed the brand new vinyl cover for her highly anticipated 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. The new cover features Swift striking a sultry pose in glittering bodysuit in fishnets and heels. Showgirls will be out on October the 3rd. If that's a big deal for you, now you know. Also, what else do we have going on? Britney Spears serenaded her Instagram followers by taking a break from cleaning her house. In the clip, she wore a fairly conservative outfit, at least by Spears standards, and she appeared to be struggling through a song while adjusting her ring lights. There also appeared to be a bunny hopping around in the background. This is according to Britney Spears' Instagram, if you're interested about that. So let's go into some other stuff right now. Let's see. Snow White star Gal Gadot is backtracking on her comments that the live-action remake flopped because of her support for Israel. Taking to Instagram, she told her more than 100 million followers that her original comment on the topic came from an emotional place. When the film came out, I felt that those who are against Israel criticized me in a very personal, almost visceral way, she continued. Worth noting, it wasn't just her comments that caused the controversy for the movie, but her co-star Rachel Zegler. Free Palestine stance also led to some on and off-screen tension. This is according to the Mirror. So, not like the Mirror, but like the Mirror, meaning the source, the news source. Just in case if anybody was confused on what I meant there. Okay, so let's talk about this. NBC will be rebranding as MS Now. So, as a parent company of Comcast plans to spin off the cable news channel into a new company called Versant. In addition to the new name, the rebranding also comes with a new logo that will now feature NBC Peacock will not feature the NBC Peacock logo. Social media users quickly mocked the new moniker, with one person calling it the worst branding disaster in media history, and another saying that the new logo looks like it belongs to a discount computer 1988 or 98 computer store. So there you go. So I don't know. So it stands for MS Now, stands for My Source News, Opinion, and World is what it stands for. I'll pull the logo over if you want to take a look. This is what it looks like. Yeah, not making this up. That is the new logo for MSNBC will be MS Now. My Source News, Opinion, World. Okay. I mean, that's different. I mean, let's not lie. I'm not going to say anything weird there, but it's kind of it's a different approach to take to it. Like over here on the news story, it said My Source News, Opinion, World. I thought it was somebody was just being a smartass and putting it on there to see if I'd read it out loud, but apparently that's not really the case. That's what it's called. So this has generated some comparison online as Warner Brothers discovering multiple HBO name changes in the recent years. But I mean, it's an interesting rebrand. I don't know if this would have been the source I would have went with in regards of calling it that. I mean, what is your general consensus when you hear that? Does it make you go, oh, okay, cool? Or do you start thinking about all kinds of other weird stuff in regard to where this is going to go? I mean, it's interesting. I understand that they needed to do something based on stuff that I've read. But is that the point, too, that, man, does the world get stranger and stranger as things move forward? No doubt about that. So, anyways, with that being said, it is almost 32 minutes past the top of the hour. And maybe it's time to talk about what we call our main story around here. So let's do that real quick. Let's get into that story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, main story time, and it's time to talk about some of the things that happen inside of the world of the multiverse. And I'm not talking about like things that happen every day, but I'm talking about the things that one expects to have the discussions about, that one expects to do this, do that, do the other, and then you kind of wonder what the hell's going on. You know what I'm talking about? Are you aware or familiar with these concepts? If so, well, that's good. If not, well, then we can have a different conversation, no doubt about that. So with that being said, let's talk real quick, something that we've talked about before on the show, but we'll talk about it ever so frequently. But today we're going to talk about the day that never comes. You know what I'm talking about? No, not the Metallica song. We're talking about the day that never comes. The day that we have been told that things would change and things that would happen and along those lines, but it never occurs. You keep on hearing about, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to change this as an organization. But then when it's all time for it to come to pass, all of a sudden something weird happens. Something out of the ordinary happens. Something that you didn't expect happens. It's the day that never comes. And listen, even in our industry, as much as we talk about these things still happen. And not infrequently. They happen a lot more frequently than what you would ever expect, but a lot of people don't ever want to talk about this, and that's okay because those things occur that way. It's one of those weird things in life where sometimes we want to have discussions about stuff, and then there's other times in life where people don't want to talk about a thing when it comes to this stuff because there's this weird level of concern on what's going to happen. So as you take a look around today and you acknowledge and you look and you go, okay, I understand where that's coming from. Let's talk about some things that have occurred inside of your workplace. And let's look at it from any aspect that you want. Let's talk about that you have a program, an incident, something that's going on inside of your workplace that you know and the organization itself knows that it is not working. It is not working in a fashion that you turn around and you go, this is not going to be for me. This is not going to be able to move forward. And you look at it and you go, okay, how do we change things? And there was a whole discussion about change, and there was a whole discussion about things that were going to be done, but they never come forward. And it's not so much that there was a change on the top. It's that the change that occurred, or all of a sudden was being speculated that needed to happen, it didn't all of a sudden, according to some, bring the value that it once did. And as you notice this, it's not that the value wasn't there. It was the following that occurred. The people that were in charge were not paying attention to the conversation. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, I'm talking about not paying attention to what the program consisted of, what the program would need for it to work, what the program was going to cost. And I think that sometimes this is what we tend to forget the most about. There are costs associated to things regardless on how you look at it. So if you're at an organization and you're running an operation, regardless of what happens, things still need to be paid for. Think about it for a moment. If you're starting a business today, you have to get a building normally. You have to get a staff. You have to get furniture. You have to get electricity. You have to get phone service. You know, all the fun stuff that makes you prominent as a business. Regardless of money coming in or going out, these are the things that are needed. And if you don't have these things, well, it's kind of hard to do business. Most of the time, it's referred to as the cost of doing business. Not that hard to figure out. You don't have to be a business major to figure that shit out, that's for sure. But think about it real quick. So now that you have all these pieces in place of the cost of doing business, think about the plan that was discussed within your organization about how certain things were going to change, and all of a sudden they did not change because of one reason and one reason alone. People were not paying attention to the information that was being shared on what needed to go forward for the world to be able to move on. Think about that. Think about how often that destroys something inside of the organization because people technically were not paying attention.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Embrace a daily boost of nature with Field of Greens. Discover the simple power of one scoop to elevate your well-being. Enjoy the flavor that appeals to you the most and let the blend of organic fruits and vegetables enhance your life. Experience the following benefits with Fields of Greens. Noticeable energy increase to power you throughout the day. Improved quality of sleep. Enhanced digestive comfort and and a general uplift in your wellness. Field of Green stands out with the selection of organically grown ingredients, each carefully picked for its benefits to your heart and overall health. We are confident that you'll appreciate the benefits of Field of Greens. If it doesn't meet your expectations, we offer a straightforward money-back guarantee. Jumpstart your health journey with a special offer, 15% off your first purchase plus complimentary expedited shipping. Just visit fieldofgreens.com and use the code SAFETYFM to redeem your discount. That's SAFETYFM at fieldofgreens.com. Experience nature's touch at fieldofgreens.com/SAFETYFM. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing the dinner's on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add-on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free. That's HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free to use the code SafetyFM free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free with code SafetyFM free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on LinkedIn.com/SafetyFM. That's LinkedIn.com/SafetyFM to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. it was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio Big.
I wanna feel like I'm something. Can you hear me breathing? And if everything means nothing, and only you and me are something, but we can be a miracle. Yeah, we could be a miracle.
Okay, here we are 45 minutes past the top of the hour as we are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. The song right here is Miracle by Cambrio. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. Go ahead and give it a little streamer-eamer action if you don't mind. We would like to thank Cambrio for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show.
I wanna cry like the sea.
Always a good timer. No doubt about that. That's for sure. Okay, so let's get into the move and the groove of everything that we have going on. And if anything, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. Things can get better, so no doubt about that. All you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there's information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Lot of information to discuss, no doubt about that, as we are hanging out doing our thing. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Let's talk about some other stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is what we do around here. Have you thought about, with the economy getting so rough, it might be time to do the dollar store diet? Well, dollar stores are playing up the growing role in how many of us eat. But the new study shows that their negative impact on diet may be smaller than you might think. Researchers tracked more than 183,000 households between 2008 and 2020 and found that dollar stores share calories that we purchase nearly doubled. Yep, from about 3.4% to 6.5% food sold were found. The score lower at the USDA's health the eating index averaged 38.4 compared to a nearly 50 at a grocery store and club stores. But also found that the households that shopped heavily at dollar stores had only slightly lower overall diet scores. Demographics trends show higher use among rural, lower income, and female-headed households, as well as some ethnicities. The researchers believe that many of the shoppers use dollar stores strategically, buying cheaper staples and snacks there, while also shopping at other retailers to and for fresher, healthier options. So the problem is that if you go food shopping at the dollar store, you also walk out with about $35 worth of impulse purchases and things that you never knew existed. So it's kind of like playing ramen roulette. You get it? The ramen roulette thing? So there you go. Some stuff always to talk about as we are looking at some stuff. So what do? Do you purchase from the dollar store? I was having a conversation with someone a few months ago because I was watching a little YouTube video where somebody had said that they were going to the dollar store and the whole goal was to do a 5-course meal using dollar store staples only. come to find out, depending if you go to the Family Dollar or what is it, Dollar General, it's not really $1. It could be more than $1 because now it's like Super Edition and all this other weird shit. So who knows? Anyways, let's bring in somebody who will give us something a little bit more happy, if one may say it that way. Let's go ahead and bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Clay. William James said, "It is our attitude at the beginning of a difficult task which more than anything else will affect its successful outcome." I agree completely. My wife and I recently tried something we've never done before. We did a 5-day water-only fast. I didn't tell anybody we were going to do this because I didn't know if we could do this. I was afraid to let people know, then fail. We walked into this with a great attitude, though. The first day was actually pretty normal. The second day, it was a bear. The third day was actually easier, and the fourth day was amazing. The fifth day was tough, though, because we knew we were eating later that day. We were almost done.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Author John Killinger writes, "When I was in a foreign country once, I had to undergo an operation. I felt terribly alone, entering a hospital in another land to be served by a physician who did not speak my language. On the morning of the day I was to enter the hospital, my wife attended church. She saw a friend of ours who said, 'Tell John that I am holding him in my prayers.' The impact of her words was overpowering, and I burst into tears to think that he was praying for me. Somehow, I was no longer alone. Lord Jesus, help those who are suffering. Comfort and strengthen them with your presence. Your holy name I pray. Amen." If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
On Friday, Russian President Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump met in Alaska to discuss a potential end to the Ukraine conflict.
The summit focused on possible land transfers and security guarantees for Ukraine. No ceasefire was secured during the talks, which took place at an Air Force base. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will visit Washington to continue discussions. Both leaders described the meeting as productive, with some areas of agreement. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Israel announced plans to relocate Gaza residents to southern safe zones that started on Sunday. Joseph Eckerson reports.
The military will provide tents and shelter equipment to ensure civilian safety. The relocation precedes a planned offensive to seize northern Gaza City, described as a Hamas stronghold. The move has sparked international concern over the fate of Gaza's 2.2 million residents. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu emphasized the operation targets only combatants.
A shipwreck off Italy's Lampedusa island claimed at least 27 lives, mostly refugees and migrants.
The tragedy occurred yesterday, marking one of the deadliest incidents in the region this year. The UN Refugee Agency reported the vessel capsized in rough seas. Rescue operations saved several survivors, but the exact number remains unclear. Authorities are investigating the cause of the shipwreck. Benjamin Wright reporting.
The U.S. suspended visitor visas for Gazans following social media posts by a far-right influencer.
The decision came after claims that wounded Palestinians were receiving medical treatment in the U.S. The State Department announced a review of the visa process for humanitarian cases. The suspension affects a small number of temporary medical visas issued recently. The move has raised concerns about access to care for Gazans. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A Legionnaire's disease outbreak in central Harlem, New York, has killed 4 people.
As of yesterday, 99 cases were confirmed, with 17 individuals still hospitalized. The outbreak was traced to contaminated cooling towers, which have been cleaned and disinfected. Health officials are monitoring the situation closely. quickly. The incident has prompted calls for stricter public health regulations. Kevin Sanders reporting.
LeBron James reached a historic milestone, scoring 50,000 career points in the NBA.
The achievement came during a game last night, celebrated by fans and teammates. James is the first player to reach this mark in league history. The milestone underscores his longevity and skill. Tributes poured in from across the sports world today. Liam White reporting.
Miami scooter boom has declined sharply due to tightened immigration enforcement.
Scooters were once a popular transport option for recent immigrants in the city. Police crackdowns have targeted riders without proper documentation, leading to fewer scooters on the streets. Local businesses report a drop in scooter-related sales and rentals. The shift has altered the city's transportation landscape. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, there you go. 55 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. If I take a look back at 2020, Apple becomes the first U.S. company to be valued at $2 trillion. The milestone was reached just 2 years after it hit $1 trillion. That happened back on this date in 2020. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, let's see. Ethan, Kustiski turns 26, Romeo Miller, 36, Manny Jacinto, 38, Christina Perry, 39, Taman Circuit turns 42, Melissa Fornero turns 43, and so does Erica Christine. JJ Hardy turns 43, and Callum Blue and TJ Holmes both turn 48, Fat Joe, 55, Leanne Womack turns 59, Kyra Segwick turns 60, John Stamos 62, Peter Gallagher turns 70, Jonathan Frakes 73, Johnson Deacon turns 74, and Bill Clinton turns 79. If you're looking at some birthdays, or not some birthdays, let me rephrase that. If you're looking at some days to celebrate today, it's National Potato Day, National Aviation Day, World Humanitarian Day, and World Photography Day. So there you go. There's some dates to celebrate. What else do we got? If you need a rando ando for today, I got that for you. I want to lose weight, but I don't want to get caught up in one of those eat right and exercise scams. Think about that. Okay, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's your guiltiest of guilty pleasures? If you need a conversation for the water cooler, try this. The average person does this 4 times a year. What is it? Self-diagnose a health problem. That's kind of the common thing to talk about. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm to go hang out for the next couple hours or so, just so you know. If you want to come and hang out with me, I will be on that side at radiobig.fm. If you don't want to go over there, that's perfectly fine as well. You can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus, and he will tell you about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. That's going to end our time together. But if I can leave you with a deep thought, I would love to leave you with this. When nothing is sure, everything is possible. Think about that. When nothing is sure, everything is possible. That's an interesting one. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
They say we came from stardust, a mix of chaos and bliss. I wanna feel like I'm something. Can you hear me breathing?